They say your first love never really leaves you. I used to think that was just one of those romantic lies people told themselves to feel better. Until Daniel. We met in senior year of high school. He was the quiet type, clean low-cut hair, always neatly dressed, caramel skin that glowed under the sun, and a smile that could disarm any anger. I was the loud one, braided hair always in a bun, stubborn, dramatic, and hopelessly in love with him. Ours wasn't the fairy tale everyone saw. We fought. We made up. We promised forever like kids who didn't know the weight of that word. But when graduation came, reality hit harder than any breakup line. Daniel got a scholarship to study abroad. I didn't. I can defer it, he said one night, as we sat outside my parents' house, under that mango tree that had witnessed every kiss and every tear. No, you can't, I whispered, blinking back tears. You worked hard for that. He held my hand, his fingers trembling. Then we'll make it work. Texts. Calls. Holidays. We said our goodbyes at the airport like people in a drama film, clinging to each other like the world was ending. And in a way, mine did. For the first few months, he kept his promise. We talked every day, even if it was just a good night over a shaky connection. I lived for his messages. I held on to them like lifelines. But slowly, the texts became fewer. The calls stopped. And one day, Daniel was gone. Like he never existed. No warning. No closure. No goodbye. Just silence. It started with late replies. Then missed calls. Then nothing. At first, I told myself he was busy. Time zones. New environment. Studies. I made excuses for Daniel even when the truth stared me in the face. 1 week turned into 2. Then a month. I'd wake up every morning hoping to see his name on my screen. Nothing. I sent long messages. Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? Please just say something. Still. Silence. I didn't want to believe I'd been ghosted, not by Daniel. Not by the boy who once cried when I caught a fever. Not by the one who said he'd marry me under the mango tree. But eventually, I stopped begging. The day I deleted our chats felt like a funeral. Quiet, final, suffocating. I cried myself to sleep that night, gripping my pillow like it could hold me together. Then I forced myself to move on. I went to university, made new friends, even went on a few dates. But no one stayed. Not because they were bad men, but because I had built a home in someone who burned it down without warning. Still, life moved. I smiled for photos. Graduated. Got a job. Built a name for myself. People thought I was strong. I wasn't. I was just tired of waiting. Until 6 years later. My phone rang. And Daniel's name flashed on the screen. On his wedding day. The ringtone felt like a scream. I froze. My hand trembled. My heart did that thing it hadn't done in years, stopped and sprinted at the same time. Daniel. His name sat bold on my screen, like a ghost daring me to answer. 6 years of silence. 6 years of trying to forget. And now. This? I hesitated. A full minute passed before I slid my thumb across the screen. Hello? My voice cracked like old wood. Silence. Then a breath. It's me, he said. I didn't need the confirmation. I knew that voice in my bones. Why are you calling me? I managed, trying to sound stronger than I felt. He sighed. I am getting married today. Laughter bubbled up in my throat, sharp and bitter. Congratulations, I said, already reaching for the red button. No, wait, he pleaded. Please don't hang up. I need to talk to you. Just for a minute. That's when I heard it. The shakiness. The regret. The pain. He wasn't calling to rub it in. He wasn't calling for closure. He was calling because something was wrong. Terribly wrong. I never wanted this wedding, he said softly. I never stopped loving you. And just like that, the 6 years I spent building walls around my heart cracked. I sat on the edge of my bed, gripping the phone like it was the only thing keeping me from falling apart. What are you talking about, Daniel? I asked. My voice had dropped to a whisper, too afraid to let the emotion spill out. There was a pause, then a sigh. I didn't leave you because I wanted to. I laughed bitterly. You disappeared. No warning. No message. No goodbye. You don't get to rewrite that. I know, he said, his voice cracking. I was forced to. His words hit me like a slap. My parents. They never liked you. They thought you were too bold, too unpredictable. They wanted someone more controllable. Someone with a pedigree. I scoffed. So they broke us up? They didn't just break us up, he said quietly. They changed my number. Took my phone. Blocked your lines. They sent me abroad with nothing but a command to forget you. And you did, I said, biting my lip to stop it from trembling. I tried not to, he whispered. I begged them for years. But they threatened to cut me off completely. And the pressure, the silence. I broke. The line went quiet. I stared at the wall, my mind racing with memories and what-ifs. And her? The woman you're marrying? She's from a family that merges well with ours. It's a business move, not a love story. He exhaled heavily, like he'd been holding this in for years. I know I have no right to ask you for anything. But I had to tell you before I stood at that altar. I had to tell you the truth. I never wanted this wedding, Daniel said, his voice low, fragile. I never stopped loving you. My breath caught in my throat. I should have fought harder. I should have found a way back to you. But I let them win, and I've hated myself for it every day. I didn't speak. I couldn't. My heart was pounding so loudly I thought he might hear it through the phone. I needed you to know, before I say I do. I needed you to know it wasn't you. It was never you. My eyes blurred with tears, but I didn't wipe them. I just let them fall. Where are you now? I finally asked, barely above a whisper. In the hotel, he said. My groomsmen are downstairs. The wedding's in 2 hours. I haven't left this room since I called. There was a pause. The kind that feels heavier than words. Say the word, he said quietly, and I won't go through with it. Tell me not to marry her, and I'll walk away. I gripped the phone tighter. My chest tightened like a fist around my lungs. Daniel. I mean it, he said, his voice steady now. I'll leave everything. Just say it. I looked around my apartment, the framed degree, the clean kitchen, the life I had rebuilt with bleeding hands and silent nights. I closed my eyes. And I remembered that mango tree. The promises. The goodbye at the airport. The years of silence. Daniel's voice broke the silence. I owe you the truth. He sighed deeply, then continued, his words laced with years of guilt. My parents never liked you, he began. They pretended to tolerate it while we were in school, but the moment I got that scholarship, they saw it as their chance. I stayed silent, listening to the cracks in his voice, the weight behind each word. They said you were a distraction. That you weren't our class. That a long-distance relationship would embarrass them. He paused. They took my phone. Cut off everything. I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. My heart twisted in disbelief and grief. I begged, he said. I fought with them for months. I even failed a course because I couldn't focus. But they stood their ground. And now? I asked. They're still controlling everything. This wedding. It's to a girl from a political family. Wealth. influence, connections. My father's business depends on it. His voice dropped to a whisper. But I don't love her. I've never loved anyone but you. I swallowed hard. I had imagined 1,000 reasons for his silence, but never this. All these years, I thought he had abandoned me. Replaced me. Forgotten me. But he had been fighting ghosts I couldn't see, and losing. I never moved on, he said. Not really. I think some part of me was always waiting for a day like this. A day I'd get to tell you the truth. Tears slid down my cheek again, not from pain but from the ache of everything we lost. You deserved more than silence, he said. You deserved a choice. There was a long pause between us. The kind of silence that isn't empty but filled with too many unspoken things. Then Daniel said, I needed you to know before I said I do. I couldn't go into that marriage without telling you the truth. Not when every part of me still belongs to you. I felt everything at once: rage, heartbreak, sorrow, confusion, and a flicker of something I hadn't felt in years, hope. But it terrified me. I don't know what you want from me, Daniel, I whispered. Closure? Forgiveness? To stop your wedding and run away with me like a movie? He took a shaky breath. I want whatever you want. But if there's even the smallest part of you that still loves me, if there's a future for us, even a chance, tell me not to go through with it. And I won't. Silence again. My mind raced. This was the boy I cried for. The boy I tried to forget. The one who disappeared, leaving only shadows behind. And now he was back on the biggest day of his life, offering me the pen to rewrite both our stories. My heart thundered in my chest. I knew that no matter what I said next, it would change everything. I walked to the window, phone still pressed to my ear, watching the sun dip behind the city skyline. Life had changed so much. I had changed. Yet in that moment, I felt like that 17-year-old girl again, barefoot under the mango tree, holding Daniel's hand, dreaming of forever. But forever hadn't come. Daniel, I said, my voice low but steady, you were my first love. You broke me in ways I never told anyone. And yes, a part of me still aches for what we lost. He didn't speak, but I could hear his breath sharp, waiting. I spent years picking up pieces you shattered. I cried over you, prayed about you, built walls because of you. And I promised myself I would never go back to anything that made me feel that helpless again. I never meant to. I know, I cut in gently. And I believe you. But here's what I also believe. If someone has to ask me not to marry another woman, on his wedding day, then I was never his choice. Not really. Silence. I love who I've become without you. I won't trade her for the girl who waited in silence, hoping you'd return. So no, Daniel. Don't walk away from your wedding because of me. Walk away only if you no longer believe in it. His voice cracked. I just wanted you to say you still loved me. I smiled sadly. That was never the question. The question was, do I still love me enough not to go backwards? Then I ended the call. I stood there, the quiet ringing louder than any words. And for the first time in 6 years, I didn't cry. Because sometimes, closure isn't about fixing what's broken, it's about refusing to let it break you again.